Expectation, I feel like, shouldn't change because, we still got the same coaches, we still have the same motive, we still have the same goals, so the expectation shouldn't change. It might look a little different for different people, which it always should because nobody's the same, but essentially we're trying to get the same job done, so the expectations should not change and we should still accomplish what we need to.
How seriously did you consider the NFL? I think you said you submitted your information.
Yeah.
What kind of conversations did you have and why did you decide to come back?
Just knowing myself and getting to know myself better. I feel like even this spring, I've gotten to know my body better. I've gotten to know my teammates better. I've gotten to know myself better mentally and physically. So that helps a lot. Because, once you get thrown to the NFL, it's kind of like, not you're on your own, but it's a little more open space in college. And I'm used to the people I'm around, and like they've helped me get where I need to be, and they're still helping me develop as a player. So I just feel like that step wasn't ready to be taken yet.
What do you feel like you can take another step higher on the field this year?
Just probably my leadership. I've been taking steps with that since my freshman year, but I'm getting different techniques. I'm reading more books and learning different ways to become a better leader. So that's one of the big ways. And just my motor and work capacity definitely has went up since previous years. Just watching film, I watched film from 2019. Like before spring ball started, I watched film from 2019 all the way up until now. And like, just what can I do different? And like running to the ball was one of them. Ripping off of blocks was one of them. Like different, just small things like that. So.
What kind of books? Leadership books? Or
books? Right now I'm reading Relentless by Tim. He's a coach. He coached Kobe, Michael Jordan, like Charles Barkley, a lot of guys. He just talked about being relentless, and then there's like his three different types of like modes. Like it's like a cleaner or closer, cleaners, and or cooler, closers, and cleaners. Yes. But like it's just different steps that you can break people into and kind of figure out how they approach the day, like, and teach, like, help you get better teaching habits.
How'd you come across that book or
just
these books?
Surrounding myself around positive people, and they just told me to read books. When I was younger, I didn't think about reading, but Audible has definitely helped. I can listen to it every morning rather than have to actually read a book because it's hard for me to read, but listening to it is way better. So.
What are your expectations? You're the most experienced guy in the team. What are your expectations for guys like Rodas, who got a little taste last year, James, and maybe even anybody else?
Fulfill the shoes that were ahead of you, Huh? Those guys, they've been watching for so long, now it's time to get in it. That's that next man up mentality. Like you have to be ready because you never know when your name's going to be called. So I feel like those guys did a great job of having that transition from not having this many snaps to having way more snaps. So it's just the work capacity part of it, which just comes with playing the game. So
you're talking about leadership and kind of stepping up for these guys. Do you feel like you're in a more mature place as a person?
Oh yeah.
At this point in your life?
Definitely. Just talking to my parents, talking to people, talking to adults, and then like I tell them that I'm 20 years old, and they're like, really? Like, and I'm like, yeah, like. Just talking to people and like them noticing how mature I am, even not even me noticing, but like them noticing and telling me it just helps me see that I'm going down the right path.
What's the biggest difference in your mind from today from when you first got here and you were kind of like goofy little freshman, goofy big freshman?
Yeah, I'm still goofy. I mean, I like having fun, but like just knowing when and when not to have fun. And especially with Coach K, he knows like we're the same as a group. Like I feel like we have the same personality all around, to be honest. So like we have our fun, we have our laughing moments, but at the end of the day, when it's time to get to work, it's time to get to work.
You said you watched film of yourself in the last couple seasons. When you look at yourself in 2019, where you are now, what did you see?
It's just some things I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, but that comes with playing ball and getting to know it. Like freshman year, I'm thinking of like what I got to do on the play and like how I got to do it, but now it's more I know what and how to do it. I just got to go out there and perform. So I know the playbook like the back of my hand almost, so that really helped me a lot. Like I knew the playbook my freshman year, but not as well as I know it now. Now I'm trying to learn different positions because I know my position so well. So things like that.
When you talk about playbook and learning as a freshman, Kurt Neal, early, what are you seeing so far early on from him? You know, and progressing as a true freshman.
I mean, he's been doing as much as he can. He's been limited on reps, but he's definitely in the playbook, which is what I like. You can see that he's trying, and I'm going to help a guy that's trying. But if you're not trying to help yourself, I can't really do much for you. I can tell you anything, but if you're not trying to implement that into your brain, it's not going to help. But I see that he's really, like, he calls me and asks me, like, can you help me with this? Just walk through it with me, even if he knows that he wants to have the small details down. So I'm glad to help him with that, and I'm glad that he's asking for help with that.
We saw Ben Barton getting some reps at nose guard.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him?
Ben got a little more toughness in him now. You know, Ben, if you ever talk to Ben, like, he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. He's pretty, like, he's not soft, but he's, like, really, really nice. Like, if you meet his parents, you'll know what I'm talking about, but he's really nice. And, like, just on the football field, trying to get him that switch, like, he didn't have it all the time, but now he's getting that switch on, getting angry while playing ball, and it's definitely paying off.
And you've worked with the same two inside linebackers pretty much every snap for the last 2 years. What's that process of getting used to some new guys that are rotating in, starting to kind of establish themselves at that spot?
Just watching film. So watching film, I started with Muma. Before spring ball, we watched film together and just trying to tell him how I see things and, like, him doing the same. So, like, because, like, me, Leo, and Jack, like, they played behind me for a while, so they know my tendencies and stuff like that. So even if it's not textbook, you know, to fall off of me and go make this play or whatever the case may be, and I would, like, show him different plays where I would be in a predicament to go the opposite way or something like that. But just knowing your tendencies and, like, knowing each other, like, it don't have to all be textbook as long as the gaps are filled. Maybe I'm supposed to be in this A, he's supposed to be in that one, but we flip. But just knowing that you don't have to be a robot and just run straight down my back if I make the move the opposite way. But things like that, small things.
Henningsen did a lot for you guys, obviously. He wound up being the guy that everyone would go to if they had questions. What would you say you learned from him, and do you feel like you're that guy now?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I feel like I'm becoming that guy. From Hendog, I mean, just he teaches you without even teaching you. He just lead by example. You know, he's on and off the field. So just knowing his work ethic and stuff like that, it helps you. Like, I want to fulfill those shoes, so I got to do the same thing. So that's another reason why I'm trying to learn different positions in the playbook, because what if a linebacker asks me something or asks the linebacker something that they can't answer that I can, if you know what I mean? Like, just knowing everything, and then Hendog was just awesome with that, and he can tell anybody on the field what they need to do. So I'm trying to become like that. So.
Isaac Townsend obviously transferred here last year. We didn't get to see much of him. What do you think he can give you guys this year?
I mean, IT, he's a pretty talented kid. You know, he's strong. He's fast. He's the fastest D lineman we got. He's just in his head right now, but he's definitely going to be a great player once he learns the playbook and gets more comfortable with his steps and everything. He's going to be the ceiling is high.
You talked specifically about when we were asking you about Rodas and James to fulfill the shoes, but what is their skill set? Each one of those guys, they got some time last year. What would you say each one of those guys can do well that will help you up front?
Like James and Rodas?
James and Rodas. Like, what's
Okay,
their
Rodas.
skill set?
Well, Rodas is fast. He's twitched up. James, he's also powerful. Like, I feel like James got more of a, like, his power moves are kind of unstoppable sometimes. And when he sets, like, especially in the pass rush, when he set his mind on the move, he's gonna accomplish it because he's just so powerful and he can outpower so many guys. But Rodas, he's quick, and, you know, his pursuit to the ball is phenomenal. Like, he's always going to get there somehow, some way. Sometimes, at some points, he was faster than some of our linebackers in practice, so that really helps.
With Gio, you know, I know that he maybe during spring ball last year got some reps at nose guard. Do you feel like he can play multiple positions? You know, obviously as a peer.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever coach needs us at, that's what we're gonna play. So I think so.
We haven't asked you about Mullins. Obviously got a lot of time last year, but where has he grown? How can he help you?
His leadership as well. You know, he was more of a laid back. Like, even though he was an older guy, he was more laid back. Didn't say much, but now he comes out. He helps people. He talks more, and, like, that's just all a part of getting to know each other and opening up. So I feel like he's opened up way more and getting more comfortable with everybody and falling into that leadership role on being a more verbal leader. So.
Thanks.